Hey guys, this is A Automotive Reviews. This is the 2022 Ford Maverick instrument cluster. It is nice. You're going to learn some great things. Remember, like, share, and subscribe, and have an awesome day. This is A Automotive Reviews. What we have here is the 2022 Ford Maverick instrument cluster. Now, the instrument cluster overview, the gasoline vehicles with the 4.2-inch screen. We have here the tachometer, instrument cluster display, and the speedometer. And we also have the fuel gauge and the engine coolant gauge, as you can see. This is the setup for the 2022 Ford Maverick. The instrument cluster overview, gasoline vehicles with the 6.5-inch screen. Now this is 6.5-inch. As you can see, it looks a lot better than the 4.2-inch. However, one has more features than the others. Here is the tachometer. Here is the information bar. And here's the speedometer. And here is the fuel gauge. And of course, you have the instrument cluster display and the engine coolant temperature gauge. This is a 6.5-inch instrument cluster of the 2022 Ford Maverick. Then you have the instrument cluster overview, the hybrid electric vehicles, HEV vehicles with the 4.2-inch display. You have a power gauge. You have not H, but you have B. Of course, the B on the top is missing. The instrument cluster. You have C, the speedometer. And you have D, the fuel gauge. And you have E, engine coolant gauge. This right here is the instrument cluster for the hybrid electric vehicles with the 4.2-inch screen. It's the instrument cluster overview with the hybrid electric vehicles, HEV vehicles with a 6.5-inch screen. You have the power gauge, and then you have the information bar, and then you have the speedometer, and then you have the fuel gauge. And then you have the vehicle driving range and the instrument cluster display and the engine coolant temperature gauge. Again, it's instrument cluster review of the hybrid electric vehicle with the 6.5-inch screen. What is the tachometer? Gasoline. That indicates the engine speed. What is the power gauge? The hybrid electric vehicles. Now the power gauge displays power to the wheels when accelerating or maintaining speed, when slowing down or by lifting your foot off the accelerator pedal or pressing the brake. The gauge displays the power captured by the regenerative braking system and returned to the high voltage batteries. That is the power gauge, and the power gauge, as you see, is right here. What is the speedometer? It indicates the vehicle's speed. Fuel gauge. What is the fuel gauge? It indicates approximately how much fuel is in the tank. And the fuel gauge limitations. Now, the fuel gauge may not provide an accurate reading when your vehicle is on an incline. So you want to correct gauge reading on a flat surface. Locating the fuel filler door. The arrow adjacent to the fuel pump symbol indicates on which side of your vehicle the fuel filler door is located. Now you see D is the fuel gauge, but you don't see the fuel filler indicator yet. What is the low fuel reminder. Now, low fuel reminder displays and sounds when the distance to empty reaches 75 miles to empty. For my key, and 50 miles to empty for the regular keys. And then it changes. And the low fuel reminder can appear at the different fuel gauge positions depending on the fuel economy conditions. This variation is normal. Now, what is distance empty gasoline hybrid vehicles? It indicates the appropriate distance your vehicle can travel on the fuel remaining in the tank. Changes in driving pattern can cause the value to not only decrease, but also increase or stay constant for a period of time. What is the engine coolant temperature? It indicates the engine coolant temperature. What is the information bar? The information bar displays information related to the ambient air temperature, odometer compass, indicators, and warning lamps. That's the information bar. What are the instrument cluster warning lamps? Warning lamps alert you to a vehicle condition. That can become serious. Some lamps illuminate when you start the vehicle to make sure they work. If any lamp remains on after starting your vehicle, refer to your respective system warning lamp for further information. Now, instrument cluster warning lamps, you have the anti-lock braking. If it illuminates when you are driving, this indicates that your vehicle requires service. Your vehicle continues to have normal braking without the anti-lock braking system function. Have your vehicle checked as soon as possible. Battery, if it illuminates, switch the ignition on. If it illuminates when the engine is running, this indicates that your vehicle requires service. Have your vehicle checked as soon as possible. Brake. It illuminates when you apply the parking brake and the ignition's on. If it illuminates when your vehicle is moving, make sure that the parking brake is released. If the parking brake is released, this indicates low brake fluid level or the brake system requires service. Have your vehicle checked as soon as possible. Indicators may vary depending on the region that your car is in or where you're located at. It could be United States, or it could be Europe, it could be another country. Door jar. If it illuminates when you switch the ignition on and it remains on, that means your door is open. Electric park brake. It illuminates or flashes when the electric parking brake requires service. Have your vehicle checked as soon as possible. As you can see, these are the two indicators for the electric park brake. Engine or motor coolant temperature. If it illuminates, safely stop your vehicle and switch your vehicle off. Have your vehicle inspected as soon as possible. Fasten seatbelts. If it illuminates in a tone until you fasten your belt. Fasten rear seatbelt. Number 3. If it illuminates at the sound until you fasten the rear seatbelt. High voltage electric system failure. If it illuminates, if your vehicle has an electrical component fault or failure that causes your vehicle to shut down or enter a limited operating mode, a message may appear in the instrument cluster display. High voltage electric system warning. Hood ajar. If it illuminates when the ignition is on and the hood is not completely closed. Low beam warning. If it illuminates when the low beam headlamps require service, have the system checked and service as soon as possible. Low fuel level. If it illuminates when the fuel is low. Low tire pressure. It illuminates when the tire pressure is low. And get service as soon as possible. If it begins to flash at any time, have the system checked as soon as possible. Check your tire pressure, first thing. and then fill up if necessary. Low washer fluid, check your washer fluid. This illuminates when your washer fluid is low. Malfunction indicator lamp, if it illuminates when the ignition is on and the engine is off, this is normal operation. If it illuminates when the engine is on, it indicates that the emission control system requires service. If it flashes, have your vehicle checked immediately. Oil pressure. It illuminates when the engine oil is low. Powertrain fault. It illuminates when the powertrain requires service. Have your system checked as soon as possible. Tailgate ajar. It illuminates when the gate is not completely closed. What are the instrument cluster indicators? They indicate to notify you of various features that are active on your vehicle. Instrument cluster indicators. See adaptive cruise control. Airbag. Automatic high beam control. See automatic high beam control indicators. Auto hold, as you can see. Auto start stop. Blind spot monitor. Cruise control. High beam. Lamps on. See hybrid vehicles. Information as ready. Stability and traction control. This is working and this one is off, and your turn signals. And that is the instrument cluster in a nutshell. This is Automotive Reviews. Thanks for watching. Remember, like, share, and subscribe. And let's have a recap. Of course, there's really no reason for a recap, but just to get some idea, we'll just go through each one. Of course, you guys know about the 6.5 inch and the 4.2 inch display. And of course, after this video, you'll probably want the 6.5 inch. You get as many features as possible, so later on you don't want it. You know, you don't want everything. You don't have it. But at the same time, just remember, all the base models always have the best residual values on automobiles. This is Automotive Reviews. Thanks for watching. Remember, like, share, and subscribe.
This is Automotive Reviews. Thanks for watching, sharing, and subscribing. And have an awesome and fantastic day. Much love. And again, thanks for coming by.